22 postcard-perfect European villages straight out of a fairy tale. From alpine hamlets to a Greek island gem, these picturesque spots retain their old-world charm. Europe's most beautiful villages rarely remain hidden for long. The notion of small towns and hamlets steeped in old-world charm has inspired centuries of travelers to fan out across the continent in search of these postcard-perfect destinations. The first requirement of an idyllic European village is a scenic location, whether among the Norwegian fjords or the sun-splashed Greek isles. But the most noteworthy villages also have distinctive features like the high-gabled pastel facades lining the main square in Telk. Czech Republic, or Štavnica, Ireland's centuries-old castle. However, too many travelers can make a once tranquil village feel uncomfortably crowded. Consider the 5 fishing villages of Italy's Cinque Terre, where an evening stroll in the summertime is more like shuffling through a packed amusement park, complete with overpriced restaurants and souvenir shops. But just an hour's drive down the coast from the Cinque Terre crowds is Tellaro, another stunning seaside village that is less accessible and thus blissfully unspoiled. Reaching some of these European beauties requires extra effort, but being able to enjoy a wonderful place at your own pace, instead of fighting for elbow room, is well worth it. 01. Tellaro, Italy. The snaking clifftop roads and the minuscule harbor have protected Tellaro from the wave of tourism that has swallowed other Ligurian seaside towns like Vernazza and Portofino. Here, a jumble of pastel buildings clings vertiginously to the sheer coast, providing the same cliff-hugging visual effect as the more trafficked destinations. The village is located on the Golfo dei Poeti, which is named for the poets and literary icons like Lord Byron and D.H. Lawrence who once sought inspiration in this Mediterranean haven. 2. Bibury, England. The hilly Cotswold region is a designated area of outstanding natural beauty in southwestern England, and one of its loveliest villages is Bibury, where verdant meadows abut medieval stone cottages with steeply pitched roofs. The River Colne, which bisects the village, teems with trout, but the most scenic area is Arlington Row, a lane of sepia-hued cottages built in the 17th century to house weavers from the nearby Arlington Mill. 3. Hallstatt, Austria. The town of Hallstatt in central Austria enjoys a storybook setting on the bank of the Hallstatter Sea, between the pristine lake and a lush mountain that rises dramatically from the water's edge. A history of salt mining that dates back thousands of years has translated into enduring prosperity for the town, which is evident in the beautiful market square surrounded by ivy-covered buildings. 4. Folegandros, Greece. Santorini's streets are overburdened with admirers, but on the nearby island of Folegandros in the Cyclades, you'll find a similar combination of visual elements: streets paved in slate, whitewashed buildings decorated with colorful flowers, and the occasional Greek Orthodox church with a bright blue dome, without the crowds. For a secluded swim, trek 1.5 miles to Caturgo Beach, a sheltered stretch where gentle blue and emerald waves lap upon a pebbly shore. 5. Colmar, France. French and German influences commingle in this well-preserved Alsatian village, where bakeries sell both croissants and Kugelhof cake, and restaurants specialize in foie gras and chucrut, sauerkraut. A range of architectural styles, from German Gothic to French Neo-Baroque, can be spotted in the old town. It's notable that Colmar was spared destruction during World War II, in part because of the historical beauty of its cobblestone lanes, quiet canals, and half-timbered houses. 6. Røyen, Norway. North of the Arctic Circle, Røyen is a pretty fishing village in the Lofoten archipelago, an area of starkly beautiful Nordic wilderness, where sapphire bays fill the fjords and meet the mountains. Many of the bright red fishermen's cabins, called rorbuer, have been converted into comfortable cottages for visitors that offer direct access to the Norwegian Sea. These are the best places to settle in for a mesmerizing view of the night sky, whether you go to experience summer's midnight sun or winter's northern lights. 7. Telk, Czech Republic. Residents of Telk, a small town in the Czech Republic's Vysočina region, were once quite competitive about the beauty of their homes, and today every building on the elongated main square is lovelier than the next. The Baroque and Renaissance-style facades, featuring high gables painted in pale pastels, now support small shops and cafes. The town center is surrounded by large, fish-filled ponds, making it even more picturesque, and a grand Renaissance-era chateau presides over one end of the square. 8. Albarracin, Spain. A sliver of medieval Spain has been preserved within the fortified walls of this village in the hilly region of central Aragon. Down Albarracin's narrow alleys and winding lanes await ancient stone towers and ochre-hued castles and chapels. You can follow the historic walls for the best views up to the old Moorish castle. 09. Pusiska, Croatia. The buses and cruise ships that stop along Croatia's sunny Dalmatian coast unleash tourists eager to experience the charms of Dubrovnik and the ancient island village of Var. Meanwhile, fewer visitors find their way to Pusiska on the island of Brac. The reward for these savvy travelers is a seaside village with outsize appeal, white stone villas with terracotta roofs, narrow cobblestone alleys, and a stone-paved square. Bask in its relative solitude and the many prime spots for swimming in the Adriatic Sea. 10. Tsong, Ireland. Encircled by streams, the Irish village of Tsong straddles the border between County Mayo and County Galway, a region of lakes and vibrant green meadows dotted with grazing sheep. Tsong is home to numerous stone bridges, the ruins of a medieval abbey, the occasional thatched roof cottage, and Ashford Castle. Dating from the 13th century, this impressive estate was expanded in the Victorian era and has been converted into a luxury resort hotel. 11. Gruyères, Switzerland. Gruyères is famous for its namesake cheese, which has a mild, nutty flavor and is usually found in fondue. But few people are familiar with the town itself, a medieval hamlet in the upper valley of the Saône River in western Switzerland. A wide, stone-paved street leads up to the magnificent 13th-century Gruyères castle's imposing fortifications and expansive alpine views. 12. Bled, Slovenia. This small alpine town in northwestern Slovenia is located on the shore of Lake Bled, but the centerpiece is the tiny island with a small Baroque church that sits in the glacial blue waters. After a long stroll around the lake, you can admire this perfect view from the hilltop castle or recharge in town with a slice of kremsnita, a sugar-topped pastry filled with cream and custard. 13. Abidos, Portugal. Within the crenellated walls of Abidos on a hilltop near Portugal's western coast, remnants of a medieval village live on. Since enchanting royals in the 13th century, the town was a gift to Queen Isabel from her husband, King Dinis. Abidos continues to impress visitors who pass through its formidable fortifications. Inside the ramparts is a labyrinth of cobblestone walkways, whitewashed villas draped with vivid bougainvillea, and plenty of bars ready to pour shots of ginginha, a local liquor made with sour cherries. 14. Guarda, Switzerland. A winding mountain road leads to the remote alpine village of Guarda in the Lower Engadine, a rugged region of eastern Switzerland that has none of the flash found in neighboring Upper Engadine, known for exclusive ski resorts like St. Moritz. Amid mountain peaks and verdant meadows, this enclave stands out for its quaint architecture, with many handsome houses featuring traditional painted and carved decorations. While wandering the quiet lanes, keep an ear out for locals speaking Romansh, a unique language that survives only in this isolated region of the Alps. 15. Marsaxlokk, Malta. On the southeastern coast of Malta, Marsaxlokk is an ancient fishing village with a harbor that brims with old-fashioned fishing boats called luzigiet, singular, luzu. The colorful vessels, with painted eyes on their bows, are used to reel in much of the tuna, swordfish, and local lampuki, mahi-mahi, served at harborside seafood restaurants and sold at the Sunday fish market. A short walk down the coast is St. Peter's Pool, a hidden limestone cove where locals often jump into the crystal-clear sea. 16. Giethoorn, Netherlands. Those seeking a reprieve from city life will find the serenity of simpler times in Giethoorn. Instead of roads, the car-free Dutch village has miles of canals, so the primary mode of transportation is by boat. Glide down the narrow canals, past thatched-roof farmhouses and cottages trimmed by blooming gardens, and beneath dozens of wooden bridges that connect each grassy plot of land. Or return in the winter, when it's cold enough to ice skate on the frozen surface of the canals. 17. Banska Štiavnica, Slovakia. In the center of a vast caldera, This well-preserved medieval town in southern Slovakia, an easy day trip from Budapest, is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The silver mined in this area fueled the village's historic prosperity, which is still visible in the Romanesque and Renaissance castles, Gothic and neoclassical churches, and elegant squares that make up the historic center. Although excavation operations ceased a century ago, the silver and gold mines have been transformed into an open-air museum. 18. Kochum, Germany. On the banks of the winding Moselle River, Kochum is a sleepy German village with traditional half-timbered houses in the central square and cute cottages lining the cobblestone lanes. A stroll along the lovely riverside promenade offers views of the town's hilltop castle. The surrounding vineyards of the misty Moselle Valley, where terraced vines cling to steep slopes, provide ample opportunity to sample the region's flowery white wines. 19. Boza, Italy. Far from the glitzy beach resorts that have many complaining about overdevelopment in Sardinia, Boza remains an unspoiled gem on the island's northwestern coast. The medieval town, on the banks of the Temel River, has an attractive riverfront lined with palm trees and palazzi painted in pastel hues. Crowned by a hilltop fortress from the 12th century, the historic center is all stone steps, shady piazzas, and houses with wrought iron balconies. 20. Kazimierz Dolny, Poland. Artists have long flocked to this well-preserved hamlet near the Vistula River in central Poland. The untouched nature surrounding Kazimierz Dolny, including gorges and otherworldly tunnels created from intertwined tree roots, has inspired many painters. But the town itself, with its stone-paved market square and Renaissance-era monuments, is packed with art galleries tucked away on the charming side streets. 21. Rättvik, Sweden. Beautiful in a classically Swedish way, Rättvik is found between acres of forest and the clear water of Lake Siljan in Dalarna, a province widely considered the country's heartland. Around town, historic wooden buildings are painted in Falu Rodfarg, a deep shade of red that comes from a nearby copper mine. In the local gift shops, you'll find shelves filled with Dala horses, a national symbol that originated in this region. 22. Dinant, Belgium. On a slim stretch of land between cliffs and the Meuse River sits Dinant, a historic town in Belgium's French-speaking Wallonia region. Beer lovers can make a pilgrimage to Notre-Dame de Lef, the medieval abbey where 13th-century monks started brewing Lef, one of the best-known Belgian beers. To learn more and partake in a tasting, cross the river to visit the Lef Beer Museum at